Very good morning. Yes, yesterday I have raised one poll regarding which are the questions which I need to be addressed, right? With that poll, I came to know that majority of them are not asking about I mean, few of them have asked with respect to the question number 1 to 5 is concerned, and the majority of them are polled about to starting it from the question number 6 onwards, right? Question number 6 starts with your uh, stress strain diagram basically, right? So in that the graph plotting will also come, right? So what I'll do, one of the best thing which I can do it is let me start it up from the sixth one, right? And then I will go on in a faster pace a bit, right? Faster pace a bit, right? And this will not this session will be a bit briefing session. Mean that what all the theoretical concepts which I have explained in the class will not be there here, but the solution part will be there because whole 16 experiments is very difficult for me to cover it up within 2 hours of time because I have 2 hours of time, right? So within that, it's very difficult for me to cover it up. So what I'll do is I will be as much brief as possible. Right. So let me start up. Well, let me share my screen. Yeah. Turn off my video. I don't need my video anymore. Right. So the question here is it's basically a 1045 hot rolled steel tensile specimen has a diameter of 6 mm and a gauge length of 30 mm. In a test fracture, the sustained data would be actually the load and the change in length is given. Right. Stress and strain we need to calculate it. Right. Stress and strain we need to calculate it. So the data is given and we need to calculate the modulus of elasticity, limit of proportionality, and the ultimate tensile strength, fracture stress, true fracture stress, percentage elongation, and reduction in area. Right? So before going to that, we need to create this tabular column. Right? We need to create this tabular column. So for my ease, what I do is I will not go on creating the tabular column because I will take already pre-created one, right, in order to save the time. Right. So let me zoom it a bit so that it is clearly visible for you. Right. So like this, I have created one tabular column. Right. For in each and every this, I will be creating the IDs. Right. So that is the one cell, and this is one cell, and this is one cell. These are the three data which he has given. That is, if I read the question, it's the 1045 hot rolled steel tensile specimen has a diameter of 6 mm. So D naught original diameter is 6 mm, and the gauge length he has given it to be a 30 mm. And in a test fracture, the following data were obtained. Right? And I can see that so the diameter at the fracture, right? He has given the. I need to calculate the true fracture stress if the final diameter of the specimen at the location of fracture was 7.45 mm. So that means the diameter of the fracture is 4.54 mm, right? And we need to calculate the area of the specimen, and we know that the area of specimen can be calculated by using formula pi by 4 into d square. So that is for every formula expression start with the is equal to, right? That is pi. I will take pi divided by 4. This is two entity into d square. Here d is the original specimen. D cap 2. Am I right? That is pi by 4 into d square. This is my area. That is, I got it to be a 28.27 mm. Similarly, I need to calculate the diameter of the specimen or the fracture. So let me copy that, because the formula to calculate the area remains the same, right? The same formula I will copy and I will right click on that, go on paste special, and I will make it to be a formula, paste as a formula. And there might be some slight variation will be there, right? Because the version of Excel which I am using in my laptop is the Microsoft 365, right? Which is a 2024 edition. So for you, we will be working on the different edition. So there might be a slight changes will be there. Means that the functionality part remains the same, but only one change might be the comments may be here and there, right? And area of the specimen, diameter of the fracture is, that is corresponds to B6. Yeah, automatically it has taken it to be a B6. So no issues. So I got area of the specimen, and also I got the area of the specimen at the fracture. After knowing this, I need to tabulate the load and the change in length. I need to tabulate the load and the change in length. So what I do is, I will go with under two more columns regarding the stress and the strain. So we know that stress formula is load by area, right? Load by area, and here the load is A13, right? And I need to multiply it by with 1000. Why I need to multiply it by 1000 is that the load he has given it is in kilonewton, so I need to convert it into Newton. So that is load divided by area. Area is area of the specimen. I will close this. I will execute it. So now, if you want to execute the same formula, you can drag and drop. But when you drag and drop, so you will feel some error, right? Because here the area of the specimen is constant for all the range, right? But what is happening in your formula is that here it is B7, B8, B9, B10. So what I need to do is, I need to make this B7 as an absolute entity, right? Because for all those cells in which you need to execute the formula, this area remains a constant. So I will make this as an absolute entity, mean that absolute positioning, and then I will do that. I got all my stress values. In the similar way, I need to calculate the strain, right? Strain is change in length to the original length. Change in length, I got it to be a B13, and my original length is 30 mm, right? If I close this brace, and also I should make this to be an absolute. So I made it as an absolute because the length also same. So when you double click on that, you will going to get that. And this is because once it is fractured, you don't get any strain corresponding to that, right? You don't get any strain. So you will not be having. So we have calculated the stress and strain. Once we calculate the stress and strain, so let's plot the stress strain curve. Let's plot the stress strain curve. So I'll go to the insert, I'll go to the chart, right? I have my scatter plot and I have scatter with a smooth markup. But when you select that, by default, some chart will come. You select that blindly, you delete that, you don't need that, right? Right click on that graph, select it to be a selected data, right? Then choose a add. So you can give the series name to be stress strain curve. You can give any name, right? And your strain will be your X entity, and the stress will be your y entity. Click on OK. Now, wow, right? It is overlapped. There are two graphs are there. That the two graphs have been overlapped. Right? So now I can see that it is the stress versus strain plot is. So here you can go with the makeup part, mean that beautification purpose, right? You can give that I can because I don't need it to go till 0.86, so I can right click on that. I can go with the format access. I can make it to be a 0.4, right? Here also no issues. I don't have any issues, and you can go with a double click on that, right? You can access titles, primary, horizontal, right? So as I already told you, I am using a newer version of Excel. So there might be some changes will be there, right? But it's same. This will be my stress. Sorry, this will be my strain. This will be my stress, right? Right. Now I got stress strain curve for a ductile material. Stress strain curve for a ductile material, right? So now let me go on working with this, right? So I need to calculate the modulus of elasticity, proportionality limit, ultimate tensile stress, fracture stress, and all, right? So here, first, let me go with the ultimate tensile stress. Ultimate tensile stress means that the maximum value of stress, I can see it at this point odd, right? So that can be, I need to calculate the maximum value among all these cells, right? So it's very difficult for me to count. So I have one function called as max is equal to max, tab it up and select these cells. So automatically it will takes the maximum value. Automatically it takes the maximum value. So the ultimate tensile stress is 585.34 megapascal, and the fracture stress is the stress at the fracture is this the 487 sorry 487 megapascal, right? And true fracture stress if the final diameter of the specimen at the location of the fracture was 4.54 So here the fracture stress which I have calculated is corresponding to the inlet diameter of the specimen, right? But I need to calculate the true fracture stress at the fracture diameter. So that means that is equal to that load multiplied by 1000 divided by area of the specimen at the fracture, right? Divided by area of the specimen at fracture, right? Right? That is 850.61 megapascal. 851.61 megapascal, right? Fine. Now it is done. Now I have two more things are there. One is proposed modulus of elasticity, and the second one is proportionality limit. So modulus of elasticity means that we know that within the proportionality limit, the stress is directly proportional to strain. That is your Young's law, right? Within the elastic limit. So mean that we need to first identify till where It is showing a elastic behavior. So for that, I need to go back to my stress strain curve. So I can see from the stress strain curve till this point, it is behaving the elastic behavior. That is, it is linear in nature. But with this graph, it's very difficult for me to predict in which value it is. So for that, let me elongate this. So what I can do it, let me copy and paste this graph, right? And what I can do it is I can fix my x-axis. I can fix it for 0.01 right? Or I can make it up to 0.004 to 0.004. So me, so I can with this I can clearly see that the linear behavior is exhibiting till 276.222 megapascal. Right? So that is 276. From here, you can see that it is deviating from the linear behavior. It is deviating from the linear behavior. So this is a point that is 276.222 is my, that is corresponding to here. So that is 270. Let me highlight this fellow. And this is my proportionality limit is equal to, I can select this. So that is 270. Right? I got that. Now, I need to calculate the elastic limit or modulus of elasticity. So what it says within the elastic limit, stress is directly proportional to strain. Stress is directly proportional to strain. That is, I can calculate this. Stress by strain will gives me the Young's modulus. I got my Young's modulus. Right? I got my, so with this I have calculated the Young's modulus, I have calculated the proportionality limit, I have calculated the ultimate tensile stress, I have calculated the fracture stress and true fracture stress. So only thing which is left behind is percentage elongation and reduction in area. Right? Percentage elongation and reduction in area. So percentage elongation, that is final length minus initial length to the top the initial. Right? So final length will be my, sorry, initial length minus final length, right? Right. So initial length will be this, right? And the final length will be 30 minus 4.12. Am I right there? Right? Because it is the change in length has happened to be 4.12 is the change in length. That is delta L, right? So what I can take it? So that is 30 minus 4.12, right? To the original length. I can multiply it by 100. I'm going to get the percentage elongation. Right? I got the percentage elongation. Right? Similarly, similarly, I need to calculate the reduction in area. So that is 28 minus this divided by this multiplied by 100 will give me my reduction in area. Right? I got the percentage elongation and also percentage reduction. So this completes the. That's very simple, right? It's very simple, but a bit calculative part is there. That means that you need to understand the basic. The main reason why we took this problem is the practical application because you will be solving the same problem in mechanics of materials in MOM. Sorry, right? So this is how we can solve this problem. And next, let me move on to the next problem. That is the major problem which majority of the students have not attempted in the internals also. That is chicken chin cylinder problem. That is a thick and thin cylinder problem. So this thick and thin cylinder problem, 1 minute, right? We have some basic keys there. So what I'll do is I will once again let me download that analytical method so that analytical method question. Yeah. So here this problem is I can see that a pipe of 500 internal diameter and a 75 thick is filled with a fluid at some pressure. Right? He has given that pressure, and I need to calculate the maximum and minimum hoop stress across the cross section of the cylinder. Also, I need to sketch the radial pressure and hoop stress distribution. I need to plot it. So from the thick and thin cylinder, we know that internal pressure at any radius is given by P R is equal to B by R square minus A, and the hoop stress at any point is given by B by R square plus A. Right? But in that above two equations, we don't know the value of B and A. That those are all constants, right? Those two values can be obtained by applying the suitable boundary conditions. By applying suitable boundary conditions. So, what are those boundary conditions? The boundary condition he has given it in the problem. That is a pipe of 500 internal diameter and 75 thick. 75 thick. So, so here I can take that I have one cylinder. You treat that this is cylinder, right? There is some fluid is flowing that is imbibing some pressure here, right? And what he has given it, he has given the radius. So he has given the distance from here to here, right? That is 250, 500 mm he has given it. It is 250 mm. So that is that I can take it to be a 250 mm. And he has given this thickness. He has given that thickness, the thickness being 75 mm. Right? So what he has given us, he has given that there are two conditions. So the first boundary condition will be at R2 is equal to 250 mm, right? The pressure imbibed will be 6. That is 6 here given. Yes, so 6 Newton per mm square. Similarly, the second boundary condition at R1 is equal to how much? That is 250 plus 75 mm. That is 325 mm. The P will be 0. P will be 0. So, these are the two boundary conditions. We need to apply these two boundary conditions and we will arrive at two different equations. We will arrive at two system of linear equation. This is equation number 3 and equation number 4. These two equations, if we solve it, If we solve it, we will going to get the arbitrary constants A and B. Right? So while doing the analytical method, these two can be done by using any method, right? One of the easiest method, which I feel, is by using matrix inversion method, right? I have done it by using matrix inversion method, and I have calculated the values of A and B. Once if I know the value of A and B, it's very easy to calculate internal pressure. Only one thing is substitution of this radius. At which point you need, you substitute that point. Simultaneously, we're going to get that value. That is, internal pressure is B by R square minus A, and the hoop stress is B by R square plus A. Similarly, these two, you can see that, right? And you will going to get that distribution, the hoop stress distribution, and the radial stress distribution. Right? This we can see how it can be solved. So let me do one thing. Let me delete it. Everything. Delete ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. Right. So in order to save the time, I am making some adjustment because if we go on doing all this tabular column and all, it takes a lot of time. Right. So you all are well versed with creation of this tabular column or how to take up the cell values and all. So now, 1 minute, I will be back. Yeah. Now I can see that D2 is the diameter, so that he has given it to be a 500 mm, and it will be a 250 mm, and thickness he has given it to be a 75 mm thick, and the R1 will become this plus this will be around 325 mm. Right? So we know that internal pressure at any point radius is given by b by x square minus a. For this, let's go on substituting the boundary condition. So the first boundary condition is when R2 is equal to 250 mm, Px will be 6 Newton per mm square. So if I substitute that, so 6 is equal to b by x square. B is here, we don't know. B divided by x is, x mean R radius, that is 250 square. B by R square minus A. B by R square minus A. Right? Here, B by R square mean that is 1 by 250 square I need to calculate. So the value of 1 by 250 square is 1 divided by 1 divided by 250 cap 2. I am using the exponential function 150, the 1 by 250 square. I got this value. So my first equation is 6 is equal to, I can write like that also, or finally I can write it here, that is minus A plus 0.4016B equal to 6. So, but when you type this, when you enter that, it will show you a error stating that when the first character is an equal or minus sign, Excel thinks that it is a formula. I need to tell that it is a text. So for that, I can go with the one single colon. It will going to get it, treat it as a text. Right? This is my equation number 1. And second equation is when R1 is equal to 325 mm, P is equal to 0. So if you substitute that, 0 is equal to B divided by 325 cap 2, 325 cap 2 minus A. Right? And I need to calculate the value of 1 by 325. Right? So that is equal to 1 divided by 325 cap 2. Right? I got this value. So my resultant equation is minus A. Right? For that, I need to make it a 1 colon minus A plus 9.46746 e power minus 6 B, right? Equal to 0. Right? Now I got two equations. The first equation is minus A plus 0.4016B equal to 6 is the first equation. And the second equation is minus A plus 9.46746 e power minus 6B is equal to 0 is my second equation. So now sum these two equations. These two equations can be solved by using matrix inversion method. So that is one of the easiest method for me to go ahead with. And here also I will go with matrix inversion method. So that is first convert these two equations in the matrix form. So that means that minus 1 minus 1 and this will be value of this and this will be value of this. And my RHS will be, the first one is 6, second one will be 0. First one will be 6, second one will be 0. Right? Something like that, if you wish, you can take it. Right? So now, for you, right, I have taken the coefficients of A and B and RHS. So how exactly it is? Yes, I have minus 1, minus 1, 0.4016, 0.123416, and 9.46 e power minus 9.46 e power minus 6 is my 1 is AB is equal to 6, 0. Right? So you treat that this is a matrix A and this is the X which you need to calculate it and you take it as the B. Right? X you need to calculate, you can go with the B by A. Right? Or if you take it to the numerator, it will be a inverse. So that is A inverse B. So mean that first, if you calculate the inverse, sorry, I pen tab. If you calculate the inverse of this matrix A and multiply it with RHS, you will going to get the values of A and B. Similarly, here, first and foremost thing I need to calculate the inverse of a matrix. Right? So, in order to calculate the, sorry, inverse spelling is wrong. Right? In order to calculate the inverse of matrix, in an Excel, we have one function called as M inverse. We have one function called as M inverse. So what you do is select the corresponding cells. If it is a 2 by 2 matrix, the resultant inverted matrix will also be a 2 by 2 matrix. So you take this 2 by 2 matrix here, select the cells of a 2 by 2 matrix and press F2 button. Press F2 button is equal to, you have a function called as M inverse, right? It is asking you to choose an array. You choose this 2 by 2 and close this and press Control Shift Enter. Press Control Shift Enter. So easily you would have calculated the inverse of a matrix. Once you know an inverse of a matrix, multiply that inverse of a matrix with the RHS. So you will going to get the variable constants A and B. So here multiply the matrix with RHS to get the values of constant, that is A and B. Here 2 by 2 matrix. Here it is a 2 by 1 matrix. So the resultant matrix, if you multiply 2 by 2 with a 2 by 1 matrix, the resultant matrix will be a 2 by 1. This is the basics of your linear algebra. You should have a basic funda regarding, right? So the resultant matrix will be a 2 by 1 matrix. So I will select the 2 by 1 matrix and I will press F2 button. If you press F2 button, again for matrix multiplication, we have a one function called as mmult. We have a one function called as mmult. Select that and it is asking you to choose the array 1. Array 1 is the inverted matrix and array 2, comma, and array 2 is your RHS. Array 2 is your RHS. Close that. Press Control Shift Enter. You would have got the values of A and B. Sorry. You would have got the value of A and B. So now I got the values of constants A and B. I got the constant values. Once I get a constant value, it's very easy for me to calculate the hoop stress or the radial stress distribution at any point. At any point in the range of 250 to 325, right? 250 is the inner dia, 325 is the outer dia. Sorry, right? Within that range, you can calculate it, right? So now I will go. Now I will go here to calculating of hoop stress and the internal pressure. Hoop stress formula, we know that it is d by x square plus a. Started with is equal to. Here also you should make sure that you should make the values of A and B as an absolute. As an absolute. So in order to the, I have gone with the radius 250 to 325 for every increment of 5 is equal to, right, is equal to, now that is B by x square plus A. That is B is this value. I should make it as an absolute, right? B divided by x square. X is this, that is R, right? I will close that entity, right? That is B by x square plus A, again plus A. Again, I should make this as an absolute entity. I will close this. I got some value, right? I got that hoop stress. You now double click on that. You can see that here I have made the value of V and A as a constant. Only one variable parameter I have given it to be is my radius. You can see that is J5, J6, J7, J8, J9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, something like that. It will go on. So I got my hoop stress. Now I need to calculate the inference. For this also, again, without writing it, you copy that, you paste it as a formula. Here, you should make it as B by R square minus A. Again, here it is showing it as a K5, but you make it as an J5. Make it as an J5. Select. So here the condition is satisfying, right? So at radius, because it's a boundary condition, at radius R2 is equal to 250 mm, the pressure is 6 Newton per mm square. It is showing here. Got the point? So when you double click on that, it is showing in the range of 5 to 0, because you know that at you are given one more boundary condition that at R2 is equal to, sorry, R1 is equal to 325 mm, Px will be 0. At R2 is equal to 325 and Px will be 0. Got it? Now the radial stress is compressive in nature. Radial stress is compressive in nature. So for value sake, they have it, it doesn't mean the negative does not mean that it is a negative value. It indicates that it is a compressive in nature. Radial stress is compressive in nature. So now what I do, we can draw the internal pressure distribution. I will go with the scatter plot, insert scatter plot with markups. I will right click on that, select the data, chart type, series name. You can take the first one is hoop stress, right? My x values is this, and my y values will be hoop stress, right? Again, I will write radial stress is the second one, right? My x values will be in the range that is same, and my y values will be this. Click on OK, click on OK, right? So now I can see that. So it will start from 250 to 325, right? So right click on that, select the format access, make it as minimum, make it as 250, maximum you make it as 325, right? Can you see this? Can you see this? You have drawn that. So right click on that, or you can double click on that. Sorry, format chat. Yeah. Add a quick claim, you can now done legend, right? So it indicates that which one is which. Right click on that. Right? If you want to add, if you want to add the chart title, you can add it. If you want to add the X titles, right? Whatsoever, if you wish to, you can do that. And if you want to format it, you can do it, right? As I told that, right? So each and everything you can, and this also, if you want to measure access, make it to be 10, right? Right? So radial stress is compressive in nature. It is only for pictorial representation that is compressive in nature. So only when given it to be a negative sign, right? So this is all with respect to your second one. That is your thick and thin cylinder problem, and this is very easy, right? If you go on doing it within 10. because now I will go on explaining you. So it took some time for me, right? If not, right? If not, I would have done within 5 to 10 minutes or max, right? So now let me move on to the next. So now it is a quadratic equation. It's very simple. So now I need to create one quadratic equation solver. I need to create one quadratic equation solver by writing a VB code using conditional functions, and I need to get the roots for the below mentioned equations. Right, below mentioned equations. So before going to this, we need we need to understand the basic of quadratic equation. So mean that so the quadratic equation is given by equation ax square plus bx plus c. Right? So the quadratic equation is given by ax square plus bx plus c, which will be having two roots. Again, we have a different conditions for that, right? So first condition is if b square minus 4ac is less than 0, you don't have any roots. And second condition is b square minus 4ac is equal to 0. It have only one root, that is x1 is equal to x2. It has only one root, that is x1 is equal to x2, that is minus b by 2a. That is minus b by, which is equal to minus b by 2a. And if b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, there exist two distinct equations, that is, sorry, two distinct roots, that is x1 and x2, and x1 is given by minus b plus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a, and x2 is the second root, that is minus b minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. Right? So this is a basic funda you should understand. Right? So first and foremost, we need to check it out with respect to the b square minus 4ac, whether it is less than 0 or equal to 0 or greater than 0. And as per that condition, we will to calculate that we will going to get one root, or we will going to get two roots, or we will going to get the no roots. Right? So for that, let me close this below. Right? So for that, I have created one, and we need to write a macro code for that. This is by using VB, right? Right. So here, right. So now I will create. I will enter three coefficients in that, because in this I have coefficient of A, coefficient of B, and coefficient of C. I have three coefficients, and I will going to get two roots. Right? So in order to move that, I need to execute this. For that, I will go with the insert under developer. Here I can see that home, insert, and all. Here I will be having a one more option tab called as developer mode. Right? Go with the insert. Here I need a push button, that is command button. Select that. Select that. And right click on that. Select on command button. Edit. You will make it as a solve. Right? Similarly, go with the insert. Command button. I have my activates. Right click on that. Command button. Edit. Reset. Right? So I have two buttons here. I have two buttons here. One is solve and second one is reset. One is solve and second one is reset. Sorry, sorry. 1 minute. Right? So one is solve, second one is reset. One is solve, second one is reset. But if you press this, it should execute, right? But it is not executing. So me that I need to embed the code there. Right? For that, I will go with the design mode. I will right click on this and I will have an option called as view code. I will go to this. Here I can see that I need to write a code here. I need to write code here. So now I will not write the code, right? Because due to the time constraint, I will take a already written code and I will explain how exactly I got that. Right? I will go to the design mode, right? View code. I don't need a private key and all. So right? I don't need this fellow, right? So here, so VB code starts with the private sub and it ends with the end sub. Here I am declaring the variables, that is A, B, C are the three, X1, Y1 is the root and the det is the determinant which I am going to take that. That is B square minus 4. There is no hard and fast rule that I need to take it as a det. That I can take it as AB or I can take Chetan. That whatsoever I wish I can take it up. Now, the first and foremost thing is I need to inform that which cell corresponds to value A, B, C. Which cell corresponds to value A, B, C. So mean that the cell position E6, right? I can see that it is E6, right? You can see the cell position here, right? E6 corresponds to this, but in VB code, X also starts with the number, Y also starts with the row number. Row number. For the point? So now I can see that it is 6 comma 5. It is correct. And B is 7, right? That is 7 comma 5. E is 5. So that is 7 comma 5 and 8 comma 5. I am mentioning that the value of A is the value which is there in cell 6 comma 5 and the value of B is the value which is there in cell 7 comma 5 and the value of C is that is the value which is there in cell 8 comma 5. So once the cell value is given, right? Now I need to check the B square minus 4AC, right? I need to check the condition. In order to check the condition, the first only I should calculate the B square minus 4AC. So here I am taking that is equal to B cap 2, that is B square minus 4 into A into C. So mean that I have calculated a B square minus 4AC. Then I should use the logical function. I should use the logical function. That is, I'm using if statement, if else statement here. If that is less than 0, then it give, here I can see that I'm inputting the value. I'm inputting the value which is there under cell to B. Here, I'm inputting the condition in the cell positioning 9, comma 5. This is inputting and this is I am outputting it. If that is less than 0, then at cell 9, comma 5, here at cell 9, comma 5, it output is no real solution. At 10, comma 5, make it as blank. Else, if because it has checked only one condition, that is less than 0. Else, if that is equal to 0, then only one root will be available. That is x2 I need to calculate, that is minus b by 2a. At cell 9 comma 5, give it as only one root is available, that is x1 is equal to x2. At 10 comma 5, input the value of 2. Input the value of x2. Input the value of x2. Else, ಅವು conditional. ಅವೆರಡು ಕಂಡೀಷನಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ it will be obviously it will be greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, it will be having a two roots. One is minus b plus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a, and the second one is minus b minus square root of b square minus 2ac divided by 2a, and else x1 is equal to minus b plus square root of, I don't need to calculate the b square minus 4ac because I have already calculated the b square minus 4ac and given it as a det. So I can directly give it as det divided by 2a, and x2 is minus b minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So I am calculated the values of x1 and x2, and I am outputting it to x1, comma, what does it round mean? That it is rounding up, right? It is truncation error and it is rounding up to 3 decimals. And the error which is imbibed is a truncation error, right? We have one beautiful chapter called as errors and approximations in numerical methods. That is one of the beautiful chapter, right? Not going in much detail into that also, right? I'm rounding it about the 3 decimals, and I'm ending the if statement and I'm ending the sum. I will save this. Close this panel. Now I have imbibed the code to solve. Again, when you press this reset button, all these values which will be there here, it should be resetted off, right? So for that, I will right click on that. I will go with the view code. Again, command button 2. Right? Range E6 to E10. So mean that all the values which will be from this to this, E6 to E10, E6 to E10 dot clear contents. So mean that clear contents is one function. So what all the values which will be there on that range will be cleared off. Save it. Save it. Close this. Now disable the design mode. Disable the design mode. When you press that, you will get some value because it for us it treats that it is a empty, but there will be some value there, right? When you reset it. So now I will take the first question, that is x square plus 4x minus a minus 21. For x square, the coefficient of a is 1, coefficient of b is 4, coefficient of c is minus 21, right? If you press the solve button, you will going to get the roots. The two roots are 3 and 7. Two roots are 3 and 7. You cross check that. First take a 3. 3 square 3 3 9 plus 4 into 3 is 4 3 12. So 9 plus 12 is 21. 21 minus 21 will be 0. The answer which you got is correct. In the similar fashion, minus 7. Minus 7 square is 49 plus 4 into minus 7 is minus 28. Right? Minus 28 minus 21 will be your minus 49 plus 49 minus 49. The answer will be 0. So mean that the code which you have written is absolutely correct. Now I will reset it. Again, I will do that is 2, 5. Sorry, it is not 22. It is 2, 5, 10. Click on solve. It gives me that you don't have a real solution. That means that b square minus 4ac is less than 0. B square minus 4ac is less than 0. Reset that. Again, 1, 6, 9. Solve. So mean that in this condition, you will be having only one root is available, that is x1 is equal to x2. In this condition, it is b square minus 4ac is equal to 0. Reset it. 2, 9 minus 5 That is minus 0.5, that is minus 5. There are two roots are available. But it's very simple, right? So I have solved three major problems, that is quadratic equation solver and this and also this, right? Now, let me move on. This goal seek is very simple, which is already I have demonstrated in the class, right? No need to again repeat it, right? Now, let me move on to solving a system of linear equations using solver. Right? So here we have a system of linear equations. I have three equations, that is 4x plus y plus z equal to 4, x plus 4y minus 2z equal to 4, and 3x plus 2y minus 4z equal to 6. I have three system of linear equations. Now I need to calculate the values of x, y, and z. I need to calculate the values of x, y, and z. So again, this can be solved by using many methods. One of the easiest method, which I feel is matrix inversion method or Gauss elimination. We can do that, but the one which I feel it to be is matrix inversion method. But the analytical method, which you should do it by using any method, right? But here I need to use it by using the solver, right? So that one second, let me open that corresponding Excel. Square parabola, root solver, dimension, root solver. Yeah, this already I have taken the goal seek by taking the different examples I have given, right? Only to worry. Yes, I have no issues. Yeah. So for solving this, solving here, hardly it takes 2 minutes of time. Solving here, hardly it takes 2 minutes of time, 2 to 3 minutes maximum, right? Here, the first equation which I have posed, that is 4x plus y plus z equal to 4, x plus 4y minus 2z equal to 4, that is 3x plus 2y minus 4z equal to 6, right? So now what I need to do is I need to make one tabular column here stating that it is the coefficient of variable for equation 1, 2, 3, and also a dot product, that is some product that is of LHS and RHS. Right? So solver, what it does is it goes on doing a iterative method. It goes on doing a iterative method. So it arrives at one distinct values wherein that corresponding value should be equal to RHS. Right? I will show what how exactly it does. So that is the coefficient of equation 1 is 4, 1, 1. The coefficients of equation 2 is 1, 4, minus 2. And the coefficients of equation 3 is 3, 2, minus 4. Right? And RHS is that is 4, 4, 6. And now I need to, and I will take a variable xyz and the value I have made it three values. So for equation 1, I have one function called as sum product. What does the sum product does is it multiplies, that is 4 into x value plus 1 into y value plus 1 into z value. It will give me that value, sum product, right? Sum means that it simply it sums up, right? 4 plus 1 plus 1, 4 plus 1 plus 1, right? That is, you can see that returns the sum of products of corresponding range or array, corresponding ranges or array. So now I will use the sum product and this 2, comma, array 2 is this. Close this, enter. Similarly, I'm using a sum product, equation 2, comma, this XYZ values, close the brace, enter. Similarly, one more sum product, equation 3, comma, XYZ, close this brace, enter. So what this solver does is it will go on predicting. It will go on predicting the values of X, Y, Z until and unless these three values will be equal to these three values. Right? On- Right? Those three values will be equal to these three values. This can be achieved by using one add-on called as a solver, which you will going to get it under data tab. Under analyze, you have one solver. Right? Select that. Right? So here you need to set some solver parameters and the set objective which I am setting it to be blindly first cell, that is G7, G8 I am setting it, right? By changing the variable mean that which are the variables you need to alter. Right? These three are the variables which I need to alter. Right? A ಮೂರು value goes on change ಆಗ್ತಾ it should arrive at one value. Right? Drop down and subjected to constraint. What is the constraint? My constraint are the values of this LHS should be equal to value of RHS. I will add similarly value of this equation 2 should be equal to value of this RHS. Right? Add similarly value of this RH, this LHS should be equal to RHS. Click on OK. So these are the three constraints. These are the three changing variables, and these three are the constraints which you are imposing. Click on solve. Once you click on solve, right, it goes actually it has taken a fraction of seconds, but at the background it goes on with the iterative one. Right? Click on OK. Now I have arrived at three values. That is, value of X is 1, value of Y is 0.5, and value of Z is minus 0.5. So let's cross check. Let us cross check. Here 4 into 1 is 4 plus 0.5 minus 0.5, which results me 4. 4 equal to 4. So mean that the answer which I got is correct. The answer which I got is correct. So similarly, let's try it out with the next one. So that is x plus 2y minus z. So that is x plus 2y minus z equal to 1. Is x plus 2y minus z. That is x plus 2y minus z equal to 1. That is 2x plus y, 2x plus y plus 4z plus 4z equal to 2. And my third equation is 3x plus 3y, 3x plus 3y plus 4z plus 4z equal to 1. Right? So now let me delete this. I don't need. Let me delete these three. And this also let me delete. And then ನಾನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಾಡಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. Right? The coefficient values are 1, sorry, 1, 2, minus 1, 2, sorry, 2, 1, 4, 3, 3. 3, 3, and 4, and my RHS values are 1, 2, right? That is equal to sum product of this comma this gives the space. Similarly, sum product of equation 2 comma this is equal to sum product of equation 3 comma this, close this, right? Now I will go with the solver, right? I have set my condition here, objective here, by changing the cells, these three. I have taken already given the constraint, that is G8 is equal to I8, G9 is equal to I9, and G10 is equal to I10, right? Click on solve. I got 7 minus 4, 2, right? This is how we can solve the below mentioned linear equations by using solver. And these two problem I have removed from your syllabus, because for this you need to have a analytical method, because in examination the first you need to do the analytical method. Once the analytical method is done, then only you will be allowed into the computer for execution. And for doing this LPP, it will be a bit difficult, because why I have kept for the earlier last year students is that in mathematics they used to solve these problems, right? In mathematics, in 21 scheme, for mathematics they used to solve this in mathematics subject, right? So I have kept that. So for you I am not keeping this, so these two will be skipped off for the examination also. Add here 60. It is one of the simplest one of the simplest one. That is, if A is matrix so and so and B is matrix so and so, I need to calculate A plus B, A minus B, A into B, B into A inverse, and A transpose, and I need to multiply a matrix A with the scalar 10. Right? Let's see if I have a Excel, or I will create it. You don't have that. I feel optimization. Yeah, I have here. Delete all this. Right. So here I have a matrix A and I have a matrix B. Right. I need to calculate A plus B, A minus B, right? A into B, B into A inverse, and A transpose, and multiply matrix A with a scalar 10. Right? So first what you need to do is represent the matrix A cell-wise and matrix B cell-wise. And if you sum two matrix, the resultant matrix will also, if you sum two 3 by 3 matrix, the resultant matrix will also be a 3 by 3 matrix. So select 3 by 3 matrix, press F2 button, is equal to this plus this. Enter. Sorry. Right? And actually here in newer version of Excel, automatically it has executed at all locations. But for in the older versions, you need to press Control Shift Enter. Press F2 is equal to matrix A plus matrix B, press Control Shift Enter. It will be executed at all locations. Similarly, A minus B, select 3 by 3 matrix, press F2 is equal to matrix A minus matrix B. Control Shift Enter. right? Unlike the matrix multiplication cannot be, repeating once again, cannot be done in the same method, that is equal to matrix A into matrix B. This cannot be done. Majority of the students I have observed, they will do it by using that method. That is absolutely wrong. That doesn't result even in matrix multiplication, right? So the matrix multiplication can be done by using a function called as mmult, M-M-U-L-T. So if you multiply two matrices of 3 by 3, the resultant 3 by multiplied 3 by 3 matrix will also be a 3 by 3 matrix. So select 3 by 3 and press F2 is equal to mmult. Select array, that is first array, comma array 2, that is matrix A and matrix B. Close that, press Control Shift Enter. You will going to get that matrix multiplication. Similarly, if B into A, select 3 by 3, press F2 is equal to mmult. First select matrix B, comma select matrix A, close this, Control Shift Enter. You got B into A. Similarly, inversioning the matrix is also very easy. We have one function called as M inverse. Select matrix A, close, Control Shift Enter. You got an inverse of matrix. And for transpose also, we have one function called as transpose. Select an array, close it, Control Shift Enter. You got a transposed matrix. And multiplying it by a scalar, make it as 10, right? Yeah, is equal to matrix A into this, Control Shift Enter, Control Shift Enter, you got it, right? This is how we can solve it by the 16th problem, that is your matrix. 16th problem, that is matrix. And we have left out with the two problems, right? So let me do these two and I will wind up for the today. And the rest, that is least square parabola, resistor problem, these two will be left behind. And if you require 1 to 5, that I will repeat it in 19th, right? On 19th, I will be engaging offline class, right, in the laboratory, right? On that day, I will address all those. Because for you also, there might be, because I can't, because I am able to continue it, but because the minimum class I may engage maybe 3 to 4 hours continuously, I can engage it. But the problem is, I do also see from your end, because internet issue will also be there at your end. Because per day, if I take it to 1.5 GB or 2 GB, right? Uh, it can't be. I can't stretch it because I should keep. You are also in the condition, right? So for that, I will be winding up. Maybe it takes around 20 to 25 minutes, right? I will take these two, right? I need to create one form to collect the basic details of the student admitted to the third semester mechanical engineering. Right? The details to be collected are name, that is student name, father name, gender, student number, email, parent number, and our corresponding address. Right? So now in order to create this, right, I need to go to Google. Here, I need to type it as forms.google.com. Here I need to type forms.google.com, press enter. It will ask you the login information because my IDs are already logged in, so directly it is getting it, right. For you, you will going to get a, you need to enter your email ID and password, right. After entering that, you will arrive at this stage, right. You go on select blank form. Go and select blank form. It will ask you, right? Untitled, give the title as students information, third semester students information, right? Third semester student information, right? If you want to bold it, you can bold it up, right? Italicize, underline, or remove formatting, whatsoever you can, if you wish, you can do that. And form description, if you wish, you can give, right? That is, all the students are hereby informed to provide your basic details which may be required for the departmental use, something, right? You can do write whatever you wish, right? And my first question will be name of the student, right? And it's so smart that based on the information which you write here, automatically the type of question will be automatically it has taken. And if you wish to change it, you can change it, right? And I am making it to be a mandate, right? Means that the students must and should enter them. My next question is name of the student, father name, right? Take it to be a father name, right? It is short answer, mandatory question. Third question is gender, right? In gender, you will be having an option, right? But rather than option, I will select drop down. Rather than option, I will select the drop down. Mean that the first drop down will be male, second drop down I am making it to be female, and I am making it to be a mandate. Add a next question. Student number, right? Student mobile number, right? I'm making it to be a short answer, right? For this, I can give the conditional formatting and I can make only students to enter only numerals or should enter only 10 characters, right? Like that, we can do that, but that will be a bit complex for you by making a conditional formatting, right? Simple way, you can do it like this. And then email ID, right? It is a short answer. I'll take a next question. After email ID, parents' mobile number and address. Parent mobile number, right? This is also short answer and address, right? For this address, you can see that address will be more than one line. Address will be more than one line. So for that, it has taken it as a paragraph, right? So I'm making it as a mandatory. So these are the basic questions which I need, right? And this is I can write it as some student information, and I can customize this theme also, right? I can go with the customize theme option, right? I can choose the header font, header size, right? Question also I can make it as a bookman old style, and text also I can make it as a bookman old style, right? Header image, choose. You can choose from the database which is available, or your wish you can upload it. I will choose this image, right? I will choose this image, right? Color theming automatically it has taken. If you want to change, you can change it, right? Dark filled, right? Like that. If you wish, you can change it, right? This color also you can change which color you need, brownish or reddish or pinkish, whichever color you feel, you can choose it, right? Background, let me make it as darkest, dark pink, right? And name of the student, I can make it as a bold, right? So this is a form which I have created, right? Here I can see two more options, that is responses and setting. This is responses is this is where you can see the responses after students submitting the details. Settings here, responses, collect email IDs. So I don't need to be collected the email IDs because students will enter, right? If you change this option to verified, if you change this option to be verified, so mean that directly students can't fill the Google form. Compulsorily, they should log into their Gmail ID. Then only they can able to fill this Google form, because automatically it captures the email ID from which email ID the student is filling this. And response editing means that, so for you only, right? I will because in the next semester you have one ability announcement. See, it is there. Yes, for fourth semester you have one ability enhancement course. In that ability enhancement course, you have four courses are there, right? So I will give one Google form to choose, right? Which subject, which AEC you need, right? So if I edit this option, if I give that allow response editing, right? On the day one, you will choose one. On the day two, you will choose one more, right? Mean that I will give one deadline. For example, I will give one deadline of 5 days, right? On that fifth day, I will take back the responses and I will document as per that. But later on sixth or seventh day, you will change that and then you will come to me stating that, sir, I have changed, I have selected this, you have imposed me this, right? This may happen, right? So for that sake, I am not allowing this response editing and restrict to users of organization only. This I will disable it, because if I enable this, only our college faculties only can do this. Students can't do this. So I will restrict it and I will limit it only to one response. Right? ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಳೋದ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ. ಅಂಡ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಶನ್, ರೈಟ್? ಅವರಿಗೆ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಏನೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದು ಕಾಣಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನನಗೆ ಬೇಡ. ಶಫಲ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್, ದಿಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಕ್ವಿಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಮೆಸೇಜ್, ಎಡಿಟ್. Thanks for filling the details required. Uh, so thanks for filling the details of filling the details. Right? For more information, for further queries, or for further queries, feel free to contact Ken got the sorry, I'm turned off my block. Right? Click on save, or you can give your email ID also. Right? And the students can view the result summary. I don't need, right? Now you can go with the preview how exactly it looks. So this is how it will look for you. So first you need to enter your name, father name, gender. So you can see that this is a required question, male or female, student number, email ID, parent number, and address. Right? So now let's see how to share it to the students. Right? Here you have option called as send. Select that. You can enter the email ID of the students. Automatically it will send the email. Or here I have a get a link. Select that. I got a very big link, but this link is very difficult. So select a shorten URL. So you got a URL. Copy it. And this link you can share it to the students. And now I will see. Right? It should be assigned use to identify. Okay. Create. Right. So I can. This has a name. You can give it. Response. You can give it as gender. You can give number. You can give email ID. You can give it number. Right. Address. You can give. Right. And you can submit. Once you submit, you can going to get thanks for filling the details. For further queries, feel free to contact. Right? You can close this. I need to. Why I'm going to my email is that I need to log out. Right? Once it is done, can you see here responses? You would have got one response. You got one response. Father name you got. Here gender wise statistics you will go. Right? Gender wise responses you would have. My voice is audible, right? Yeah, audible. Because I have changed my eardobes, so fine. Right? This is how you can see it. And if you want to print it, you can print it. Right? So after printing, you can take it a manual feedback also. You can see that name of the student. Student will fill father name. He will mark it as a male or female. He will give number, email ID, parent number, and he will write the address. For address, automatically a Google form will be created. Let me. I don't need that. Return photos. I don't need the margin minimum. Custom margin. None. Let it. I try to leave it. Give it a minimum margin. Give it a, why I'm doing it is I'm trying to bring the address column also in a single page. Right? Save it. Somewhere you can save it up. Right? You can open up this. You can see all the details. Right? This is with respect to the question number 17, that is creating the Google form. Creating the Google form. Similarly, create a user form to conduct a quiz. That is 18th question. To conduct a quiz for the students on the subject spreadsheet for engineers with 5 questions of 2 marks each. Of 5 questions, 2 marks each. What I'll do is the same thing I will make use, right? Because all the same details I need to collect it once again. So what I'll do is I will take a right click. But for you, you need to create better to create it from the start, because or else you also will do the same thing. First you will create this, then you will go to that. Some will, uh, few of them will do that, because I'm not telling that all will do, but few of them. Let me go to the forms.google.com first. Right? I will take it the blank form. Right? make it as a quiz spreadsheet for engineers. I can give the year. All the students are hereby informed to attend the quiz on spreadsheet for engineers within the deadline. Right? Right? Here, again, the questions play a very important role. Right? Because what I observed is that, so here I have asked it to create a quiz. So while in the internal also, the few of the students have created the quiz directly questions. Mean that without taking the name, USN roll number, right? How can you create a quiz directly? Right? That is absolutely a wrong thing. Right? So first and foremost thing what we need to collect is name of the student. First, I need to collect the name of the student. Then, if he has a roll number, then university seat number. If required, we can collect a mobile number because nowadays this number somewhere it may be helpful. Somewhere it may be helpful because nowadays I'm not talking about all. Few of the students or few of them will be having a habit of changing the phone number monthly. Right? Because I have seen because for one student it was in a peak position. At the time I got the number from this Google form. Right? He has attended that quiz. Right? From that some for something we got that. That's a big another story. No need to discuss that. So in every form, I will be collecting the phone number and email ID compulsorily. So in one or the other, I may get his number, right? My mobile number. If required, you can collect the email ID too, right? And then the questions start. Then the questions start. But what I'll do is I will be creating the two different sections. The first section means that directly by entering this all values, he can't the questions. He can't see the questions. He can't see the question because sometimes some people what will do is if I go on giving it in a single stretch, he will see the question to go and then he may do something. Right? So for that, what I'll do is I will go on creating a add section. Add section. So this will be your section one, and this that is your basic information is section one, and your questions is section two. Right? And before going to that, under settings, you have there is one setting is there. You have to make this as quiz. If you don't enable this setting, this form doesn't become a quiz. And immediately ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಬೇಕಾ ಆರ್ ಲೇಟರ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ಯುವಲ್ ರಿವ್ಯೂ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ಯುವಲ್ ರಿವ್ಯೂ ಅಂಡ್ ಮಿಸ್ಡ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ನೋ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ರೈಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಕಾಣ್ಬೋದಾ ಅದನ್ನು ಬೇಡ ನನಗೆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಕಾಣ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಬೇಡ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡೋಣ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಡಿಫಾಲ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಇರ್ ದ 2 marks ದ ಡಿಫಾಲ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಸೇಮ್ ರಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ಟು ಒನ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಎಡಿಟಿಂಗ್ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ ರೈಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದಿಸ್ ರೈಟ್ I can save this, right? Result summary ತೋರ್ಸೋದ್ ಬೇಡ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಯಾರ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಸಮ್ಮರಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತತಿ, ಅದು ಬೇಡ. ಬಟ್ ಅದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಾಣಲ್ಲ, ನಮಗೆ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ನೌ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ ಟು ದ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್, right? Here I will select this. For entering the name of the student, does it require a marks? Right? I don't need, right? So for that, what I do is I will assign 0 points for this. For name of the students, I will assign it as 0 points. For USN also, I will assign as 0 points. For mobile number also, I will assign 0 points. For email ID also, I will assign 0 points. So ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಗೆ 2 ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಸೈನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. You can see that I have not created even a single question, so it is showing it as 0. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ 0 ಆಯ್ತು, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ 0, right? So now here I can see that, and I can go on creating the question. So what are the question which I can create? 1 minute. Yeah, I have a question here. So in Excel, the columns are labeled as, that is my first question, right? I will go and add question. In Excel, the columns are labeled as, it is a multiple choice, that is ABC, right? A comma B comma C, 1 2 3, 1 comma 2 comma 3, comma etc. Right? 1 comma 2 comma 3, comma etc. Right? And this also I can make it as third one is A1 comma A2 comma A3 comma etc. And the fourth one is $A, $1 comma $A, $2 comma $E, $3 comma etc. Right? So here this is 2 marks. Right? So I need to assign that which is the correct answer, right? So here go with the selection of answer key and select A, B, C is the correct answer, right? Because in Excel the columns are labeled as A, comma B, comma C, right? So select done. And if you want to give any description for this answer, you can give the feedback, or else blindly you click on done. I'll go to the next question. Right? Right? My next question is, which function in Excel tells how many numeric entries are there? Right? First option, num. Second option, count. Third option, sum. Fourth option, average. Okay. Here, the correct answer is count. Click on that. Now, let me go with the third question. Right. My third question is, what is the intersection of a column and a row on a worksheet called? Right. The first one is column. Second one is the value. Third one is the address. And the fourth one is cell. Right. The correct answer here is cell. Oh, done. Right. And fifth, fourth question, I will mark it for 8 points. Right. Dash is the best alternative to MS Excel offered by Google INC. Right? First answer, first question is Google Slides. Second one is Google Sheets. Third option is Google Drive. The fourth one is Google Keep. Right? The correct answer is Google Sheets. Select it as Google Sheet. Next question. Which function is used to calculate inverse of a matrix? Right? So the first function is MMULT. Second function is M inverse. Third in is M inverse. Third one is min V. Right? So the correct answer is M inverse because here I have made it as a spelling mistake. That is min verse. Right? And the fourth one is M in. And the fifth, this is the correct answer. That is M inverse. Click on done. Right? So he can see that I have made it as a 10 points. Right? So now, right? So now I can go the customize theme. I can make it a bookman old style, bookman old style, bookman old style. I can choose the header image. Whichever you like. Right? Okay, you have customized. You can send that, copy, shorten the URL, copy it. Right? And that you can share it. So you can, and then you use that. Can you see that? It is asking you the name of the student. Right? Make it to be name, roll number, make it something, right? Mobile number, because my roll number is not there, right? And until and unless you fill these details, your next question will not come. Now click on next. Now click on next. There appears your questions. So in Excel, the columns are labeled as A, B, C, right? Which function in Excel tells how many numerical entries are there? That is count. What is the intersection of column and a row in a worksheet called? That is cell. And dash is the best alternative for MS Office. Excel offered by Google is your Google Sheet. And which function is used to calculate the inverse of a matrix? That is M inverse. and submit. Thanks for submitting the quiz. Your quiz marks will be made available shortly after reviewing the answers as soon as possible. Once it is done, here I can see the responses here. Select that. Here summary I can see average is 10 out of 10 and the median and range I can see it, right? And who has answered that, right? That is your name, roll number, everything I will arrive and here I will going to get that statistics, right? That is this question. This is the correct answer, 100%. That is correct answer. So here I can say linked sheets, create a new sheet. So in Excel, I will going to get all those values. In Excel, that I got is 10 out of 10. I got 10 out of 10. The same thing. Let me, right? So this is how statistics will be done. This is how you can create the question number 18. Right? That is the create user form. As I told that this 17 and 18, this is can be done within 5 to 8 minutes, maximum 5 to 8 minutes. Right? Today I have covered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, total 7 questions I have addressed. These 5 all you know that, right? As I told once again, on 19th morning 9:30, I will be engaging the class, right, offline in the laboratory. And at that time, I will do the remaining one. And also, if required, I will do the repeat it once again also, right? Fine. If you require, I will show how exactly the dashboard will be there. Right? I can see that 68 students have answered, and I have not released the grades. Right? Right? This is the correct answer. All 98.5% have given me the correct answer. Only one guy has given the wrong answer. Right? Like that, I can see all. Right? And if I see the Excel, the win sheets, right? Here I will come to know that, right? Which is how many marks he has scored. And I can sort it out in Excel. Right? So let me close. Let me stop sharing.